Hello everyone, my name is Erados12, and if you might have guessed, I had issues with the mic. That's why it was a delay before I could start. Anyways, yes, I am back. And this time, we are doing something different today. Yes, squads. So what do I mean by squads? Because you might get confused. Well, squads in this case would be clans, but they can actually be used as squads in game. That is what we're going for. So, as you can see, you on screen with the UI, you can create a new squad or you can join a squad. If you want to change a squad, we'll probably add that later. You're going to be able to leave one too. Uniforms, loadouts, faction, and all the other stuff here, that's for managing the squad. So basically, this is supposed to be a very modular type thing, where if you were to make or join a squad and you had leadership, you could actually, lead the squad. I mean, you could like manage what it does, what weapons it can use, things like that. Oh, and yes, you would have to have at least one weapon from each category available to the player in order for them to be able to use it. So, keep that in mind. Anyways, let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is continue where I left off last night. I'm going to change these buttons to something that, is used for managing the squad. So in this case, we have uniforms already, loadout, faction. Now, we'll have something called base. There will be a base that you can build where people can raid that base, and you can use it, to plan out some matches and stuff like that. So you have, and in fact, let's call this our base. Because this is, a team thing. Alright? And, allies. That's the next one. You get to see your allies in one button. And you get to see your, you guessed it, enemies in one button. Oh, and by the way, everything is capitalized. just that's just how we do things here when it comes to the user interface. This is the basics, right? So now I think what we can do, we can add that other option. So we're going to go to this one, this UI, add a new option called Leave Squad. And what this does is that it allows you to leave the squad. Simple. There you go. Now we have that. All we have to do next is, well, I'm trying to think. What are we trying to do here? Oh yeah, we can actually start the server, like just get it set up. So I am going to include a script. Or actually, no. I have a better idea. I'm going to go to my plugins, and I'm going to install the offline version of Roastrap, the full version. Because if you think about it, yes, we use Roastrap, but in a different light. Yes, it's like a game engine, but here's the deal. There are certain parts in that Roastrap distribution that work very differently from each other. So that is why we have to use Roastrap, because it still uses Roastrap, but in a different light. Like, what I mean by different light, I mean there's some actual, like, customized stuff in there. Like, you can load configuration modules and even sprite sheets with the resources script that we have. Can't do that here because this is the official, Roastrap build, or the original. So now we got Roastrap. All we have to do is this. We're going to go to here, and we're going to add a module script. And I'm going to call this module script Squad Loader. Or actually, let's just call it Squad Manager. That's a better name. So now, what is the Squad Manager going to do? You're about to find out. The Squad Manager is responsible for actually loading and saving the squads, as well as managing them on the server so that they can be used. The script also has a huge role in the game, depending on what you're doing. So if you're going to run a custom match that's like, well, actually it's quick play, but custom. Meaning if you're going for a quick match with a squad of yours, basically it not only uses data store service for that, to load up stuff in the match, but it also uses teleport service. You know what teleport service does? In this case, it allows us to literally make a party, like, teleport party async, that kind of thing. And then we could take that and use that to teleport not just the whole squad that's available. Squads can, by the way, only have up to 12 players at a time. So, keep that in mind. Anyways, let's just get into this. So, resources is loaded first, because you're going to need that. Then we'll do local, I think we're going to do Squad Manager equals, okay, and then here's what we do next. The Squad Manager has to have a few methods. I'm going to look up teleport service. And see what we find. So what do I mean by that? Well, if we look here, well, actually you can't see it, but if I read this carefully, this teleports the party async teleports a group of players to the same server instance or same place. Same server, same thing in the given place. Now it will return the job ID, which can be important, but it won't be needed because we're not making custom servers for this. So, let's see. I think I have an idea. Let's go to data store service. Oh, by the way, at 9:45 we'll be taking a break. Keep that in mind. The last stream was a mess because of the fact that it took too many breaks, either that or just did it unexpectedly. Now I'm just going to be more reserved about it than I used to. You live and you learn. So now we're going to load up the data store, which is the squad store. And this is going to be data store service get data store. And I'm going to do, let's see, squad, save, and basically that's it. Now we could have done this via scopes, but that's the problem. Luckily there is a solution. 4 megabytes is now available for data store service entries. So that means that if you were to put something in a data store that's big, you wouldn't have to worry too much about running out of space, because that's a lot of space. 4 megabytes is, I think, 4,096 kilobytes of storage. That's, wow. 4,096,000 bytes. That's enough to store a whole squad. Maybe even more customization. So, yeah. Let's see. Function squad store get squad data. And then we'll do squad ID as the first parameter. And what this returns is the squad data, raw squad data. We're going to use a pseudo instance, but that's not going to happen yet until we get this done first. So let's see. I almost forgot how we're supposed to do this. Let's just try to look at data stores. I'm going to read it off of the screen just to see what we're going here. Okay, there we go. So let's see. Okay, we need to put that in a P call. I know that. So let's do that. Yeah. Local success squad info equals P call. Function return squad store get async squad ID. If not success, then we'll just print out a warning for right now, but I do have planned a way to notify the player that did not load. Squad did not load. Exiting. And then basically we're going to format this. So this is what I've learned over the years, that format can be your best friend when it comes to strings and keeping the memory of those strings low. Because concatenation, if I'm not mistaken, is an intensive operation at the slightest level. Meaning, it's going to cause some lag, and you don't want lag. So it's best to use format in most situations when you can. So, return, okay. Let's see, return squad info. Alright. And yeah, we got that. Now, the next thing we're supposed to do is, well, have to say this, take a break. We'll be right back. All right, back and at it again. So, just took a break to stretch, maybe catch my breath because I think I'm about to sneeze for some reason. It's weird. Anyways, as you can see here, all we had to do was just call it, and then if we have the data, we do this. But if not, we'll just make a warning showing that it didn't load and just exit out of the function. Simple. So, the next thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to make some changes. But we can't do that yet. Seriously, we can't. because we don't have the pseudo instance needed to actually store the data, have the format created, and then put it in. That's how we do it with the save game in the game. You know, the player's profile and stuff like that, which is important to save their progress. So now, this is what I think we should do. We're going to go straight into the name, or actually the default squad. So, function squad store get default squad, and we'll just do that. Basically what this does, ooh, wait a minute, that's a data store, my bad. Squad manager get default squad, and what this does is simple. Returns a table chock full of data. So for example, you have the name, which is going to be human readable, and also it has to be unique, meaning it shouldn't be in the data store. Every single squad will be stored in an entry, in one major entry, I think. This is a 4 megabyte data store system, but yeah. Well, here's what we'll do. We'll have a scope, right? So I think what we should do is just take this out completely. Now that I think about it, you could do this with a scope. And we'll do squad server, which is basically, you know, the scope of the squad system. You know, like they have in many of those, you know, city or strategy games where they have like one server for the east, one server for the west, that kind of thing. So, yeah. Anyways, let's do this. So the name is always going to be untitled by default. You can change it. You're going to be prompted to change it when you make a new one. The next thing you're going to have is the faction. Faction has to be one of the teams in the game. So let's see. I think I'm going to have to take a break right now. I did say that I wasn't going to take too many breaks today, but this one I will have to take a break because I have to grab the teams to show you exactly what I mean. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. Um, I did grab the teams, but now we gotta add in teams. If we can, just need to wait for this, I guess. So, weird. It's gonna stay red. The indicator. Okay, here we are. So, what we have to do is we have to go here. Actually, here, because this is where the teams are. Not insert object, not that. This is what I'm looking for. You insert teams, paste it in. These are the 6 factions you can choose from, not just in the game, but with squads. No, seriously, with squads. So, yeah. So now what we have to do is we have to have one of these squad names. Either Bloxers, the Rebels, the P-86, we call this the P-86 for short, the RST, the Robloxians, and the Staffel. I think the default will be the Robloxians. So Robloxian Republic. Okay, there we go. Next one. The next one should be, let's just say, loadouts. Or actually, we're going to call this whitelisted. We'll do this twofold. So we have loadouts here, which is going to be an array of tables that contain every single slot. And then we have here additional choices, loadout choices. Now I do have to be careful whenever you're dealing with these keys, because remember, keys do take up space, and when that stuff like takes up a lot of space, you don't want it to be over 4 megabytes. So yeah, just saying. So the loadout choice will be primary is an array, of course. Secondary is another array. And then you have, let's see, grenade is an array. You get the point. Every single thing will be an array regarding this. Basically, it's all the slots of the loadout from RW, but with additional choices that the player can pick in their squad that they will use. So, for example, you can choose another weapon to pick besides the ones you get from maybe the infantry. Like usually regular infantry units have assault rifles, right? Well, what if you wanted to choose an assault rifle if you're on the Bloxers, other than the AK? You could go for something like the Galil or maybe the HK-33. It depends on what you want to choose. This gives you the leverage to actually make that choice. When it's, it originally was supposed to be where you could only use what's in the loadout. But now that I think about it, we will give players the choice to choose between certain things. So, yeah. Anyways, this is what we have for loadout choice. Let's move on. You got the faction, you got the loadout. So let's see. Let's do uniforms. And we're going to call this unit appearance. And basically what this is, it basically is the customization of the clothing and equipment, or let's just say the customization of the gear that the character carries. For example, let's just say you guys earned a medal. Not only will players be able to earn a medal. What I mean by medals, I mean like something you can wear on your uniform, and if you get a good medal, you also get a nemesis favor. Now, what are nemesis favors? Basically, there are going to be certain bomb-related items, such as the satchel charge and the limpid mine, that you cannot use by default. You don't get them by default either. And you can't earn them via QPs. Well, how do you earn them, you ask? Well, you have to complete these things called nemesis favors, which are incredible feats that will earn you not only a medal, but also the you know, either one of those two mines itself. You get to choose, by the way. Unit appearance allows you to put the medals of squads on your character as well as your additional medals. You can do that. Anyways, this is an array because it stores information about the character. Oh, and by the way, the C-frame has to be done really carefully. Like, it has to be serialized. We'll get into that in another stream, but right now, let's just focus on the rest. So the next part is the base. This is the hard part. So, let's see, base equals this. And then biome, it's going to be, let's just say desert by default. Basically, biome is where you would actually reside. If you reside in the desert, you're going to have a desert base. If you reside in the forest, you're going to have a forested base. If it's urban, well, it's an urban base. On the outskirts of the city, of course. And then you have the placements, which is an array. Simple. Anyways, let's keep moving. So the next part, I think, is allies and enemies. So this is an array of squad IDs. Watch. You have your allies. It's an array. And your enemies is an array. Okay. There you have it. It's done. So now we gotta go to the main and actually create this or load this up. Okay, SM equals resources load library squad manager. Okay, SM dot what? And then local squads equals, yes, a table. But this time, this table is very different from the one that we're going to create. So let's do function, local function, init player. Player. Okay, squad player equals, what is it? Oh yeah, SM create, or actually, hold on, let me do this. Get default squad. This is just a test. So when we actually make the production version, it will be quite, I wouldn't say powerful, but it will be able to, you know, to decide which one happens or, you know, gets loaded based on whether or not you have a squad. Okay, squads. So now we got that. Alright. So let's see if we can actually add this in. So, I don't have it yet, but I think we're supposed to add in another script. So, I'll be back when I've grabbed that script. Alright, so we're back. And yes, you guessed it. This is the script. So, what's selected in the Explorer is actually called remote service. And this is how I actually, deal with, remotes without being so laggy, or the game being so laggy or and hard to manage. So, here's what we're going to do. Service. So here's what we do. Remote service dot send. After that, and then we'll do client. Let's see. I'm trying to think. What was it? Oh yeah, I almost forgot. It's called update squad client. This is the one we have to use. So basically what I'm saying is squad client is basically you update the squad stuff on the client. So this is how this will work. Hold on, let me grab the data. Okay. My squad home. I mean none. Would change to my squad and then the name of the squad. And this button would be hidden. So you could create a new squad with the untitled version and it will still work. So let's do that. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to start player scripts and create a new local script. So actually okay, let's do it. Resources. Alright. Okay, local signal equals resources, load library, and then we'll do signal. There we go. Next thing I will do is go back down here and we'll have remote service. So I'm going to put that in just like that. Okay, and then what you do to make sure it runs is remote service that start client. And then do remote service dot listen client. Okay, so client send update squad client, and then we'll do function. Okay, player. Or actually just squad info, not player. Because remember, if you're doing player, that's on server. Because the server has to have a player in order for it to work. You can't trust the client ever. So, with that being said, let's just let's just get this right. So we'll do if squad info, then let's see, remote service. Actually, not remote service. G, yes, global G is what we use here because it's got to be usable across the board. So G dot say squad update equals signal dot new, and it will do this. Fire. Yeah, and then after that, We'll grab this, make a local script. Okay. Connect function squad. And then we'll do before that equal UI equals script parent squad hub, and then local title equals UI dot title or squad title. My bad. So let's get into that. Okay. There we go. So now you have the squad title variable. Let's just add it in and make sure it works. So let's see. Title.text equals a squad. Yep, string format squad dot name upper. Okay, now let's try it and see what happens. So if we look here, and this is if we're looking carefully, let's see, it should run. So we just close out the other Roblox Studio instance. Had to have that open in order to grab the remote service. So if we look here, yes, it's a mess. I get it. I'm just gonna push tab. So it still says none. Huh. Ah, I see. So this is what happened. It didn't return anything. Weird. Weird why that would happen in an instant. Let's see. I think it's because we forgot to make this return stuff. So we're going to return squad manager just for GP. And yeah. So there are going to be some drop frames. I just want you to know. We're just testing this. So keep that in mind. Anyways, workshop. Going to pause that out. Still says none. And it says nil. Huh. That's odd. Okay, I got an idea. So what we got to do here is we got to, first of all, I'm going to load up run service because I do not trust wait anymore. I used to use wait a lot, but now I don't because wait is intensive when it comes to lag. It's a problem and it's inaccurate. Let's see that until g dot squad update, and now let's try it. Sorry about that, guys. That was my mom. Yeah. So now, let's just make sure this works. We almost got an hour left, by the way. So that didn't work. You would think it did. Kinda did. Oh yeah, I forgot. Again, we were supposed to put this in. So this is how you put it in. Game.players. Player added. Connect init player. Just like that. Game.players. Actually, for this in iPairs Game not players. Get players. Do. Now I hate to do this, but we are going to have to use spawn. Just for now, because this is a prototype. As soon as it's ready, we will use something else. Okay. Init player. So now, alright, so what we got? Well, it still does not work. I don't get it. But, if we look here, I mean, honestly, I've never seen it do this. It's weird, you know? So, player added, isn't it player? And, I mean, it doesn't make sense, right? Squad info is there. Squad is there. So, what seems to be the problem? That's what I would ask myself here if I had to deal with it. So, okay, I think I have an idea. Let's just go to local script and see if we can print that. So let's see, print. Actually, not print yet. Hold on. Table.for each squad info print for each I think, because it's a pairs type of thing. It is a dictionary after all. So, gotta keep that in mind when you're dealing with this. So, just waiting on that. Okay, it still says none. And that's interesting why it says none. Because here's the problem that I see. We either didn't get this right, or something else happened. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. You have to do this. Start server. That way it's synchronized. So let's see, I'm going to do that. So now, all I'm waiting on is just to see if this works, and then if it does, we will move on to the next part, which is getting these buttons working. Okay, it's still not working. Alright, let's try this again. I mean, yeah, I do have... I'm still trying to figure out why that happened, honestly. It's weird. Now, when we deal with weapons in this game, which is next, I think it's next, we will have to use a viewport frame. There's a certain way we have to do that, correct? I think so. So, let's see. Anyways, sorry about that. I just blanked out for a minute. Okay. So init player is there, but there is a problem. It doesn't really work the way it's supposed to. So let's just get rid of the spawn thing and just do this. Squad manager is there. Remote service is there. It's weird. You know? I mean, it should work, and then again, it shouldn't. Just saying. Okay. Libraries. Remote functions. Yep, they work. Alright. This is our problem. And sadly, it doesn't really remove stuff well. So I'm thinking, yeah, there's a problem here. So we gotta fix that. So iPairs is there. And yeah. It's really weird why this doesn't work. It should automatically work since it is in server script service. But some things are different. Wait a minute. I know exactly what's wrong with this. Let me go to the game settings. So what I'm thinking is, okay. We're going to allow that and save that. Now all we gotta do is just press play. Shouldn't be that hard. But yeah, you get the point. Hold on. Okay, something's wrong here. Again. So I'm actually going to have to put a print statement here. See if this thing is alive. And if it is, well, hey, that works too. And it still doesn't work. It's interesting why it doesn't work here. So I think it may be the function that has to deal with it. So I actually will take this out and just do that. Not use a function for right now. And just only use it in this instance. Because if we use it in the other instance, it doesn't work. Usually this does work. I'm not kidding. So. But this time, I just don't get why this happens. It's weird. Okay. Now I think we're going to have something to do with this. And still nothing. It's weird. Right? Okay. Something's wrong. So let's just see if we could print the player's name. So I'm thinking let's just do players equals game get service players and see if that fixes it. And if it doesn't, then that's fine. We'll just find a way around it. I mean, usually when it comes to stuff like this, try to find a way around it. Because this is a major problem. And it needs to be curbed. Because think about it. No one wants a buggy thing like this, where the player doesn't even load. And still nothing. Huh. Weird. Alright. Well, guess I'm going to take a break and look at the dev forum and see what happened. Because this is unusual. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. And you know what? Let's work around this. So, instead of using player added, let's do child added. Sorry about that. That was my mouse, if you heard it. Okay. So, child added. Yep. Just like that. Get children. This is better than get players, I think. So, yeah. Let's see if that fixes things. Hmm. Kinda disappointed still. So, I don't know why this is happening. But whatever it was, doesn't look great. So let's see. Print this. And let's just try this again. Sometimes I don't understand why this happens in Roblox. Because usually the scripts are on point, but this is a different story. You know what? I think I have an idea. So instead of doing this, let's just get rid of the script. Not a module script. I mean, server script. Copy it. Take this out. And then we'll do replicated storage, wait for child, resources, 200. And that'll help the situation because, I mean, this works actually. The original script like this, the one in the game. But this I don't understand. Like, what could be wrong? Maybe something's disabled? Guess put this in workspace. I hate doing that. Because server service is not working. And it's sad. Like, come on. Still doesn't work. Okay, try that again. Just to see where it's at. I know it's a stagnant thing, and I hate that. But we're gonna get through this. Okay. I think. Let's see. Server is alive. Okay. Okay. So let's see if the server is alive. Yep, server is alive. It's running, but there's a problem. So, let's see if we can fix that problem. So, I think I have an idea. Hold it. So, remote service dot listen server fetch init squad function player, and then we'll just do this. And then just return this right here. Since players doesn't work, we can always do a workaround. Start server. Okay, now we got it. All we gotta do is simple. Squad info equals remote service. Hold on. Dot fetch init squad server, and then we'll just get that. And then basically, if the squad info exists, then we do this. Now let's try it. Okay, this should work, and if it does, we still have a lot of time left to make the rest. Okay, it works beautifully, to be honest. It's weird, huh? Yeah, it works nicely. Now, I don't know what happened with player added, but whatever it wasn't good. So, keep that in mind. Anyways, let's keep going. So we got the title. Now what we have to do here is simple. Turn that into a text box. And when you click this button, that's what will happen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert an object, specifically a text box, right there. So the next thing I'll have to do is grab these dimensions, the size, and the position. Okay, and then after I've grabbed that, we're going to make this, of course, we're going to do transparency. And we're going to have the text to the right. I mean left. My bad. I said right instead of left. Okay. Text scaled. Yep. Keep that. Alright. Alright. And we're going to do... I'm going to put none here. Oh, no, no. Okay. That's enough. So then we're going to make this white. And then we're going to do 0. And I'm going to make this Titanium Web, of course. And then we're going to actually hide that once we get the chance. Let's hide this first. Of course we're going to hide that. That way we can see it better. So basically this is none. And then the text box itself will have a frame inside of it. Yes, I'm serious, a frame. Not a viewport frame, but like a frame. Okay. Let's see. 1, 0, 0.5. 1, 0. And then move that down a bit. So that means 0.1. Actually, 1. Just 1. And then we're going to actually make an anchor point of 1. And what that does is it creates a line that can be indicating, or actually that does indicate, my bad, that this is a text box. Now we're going to have to move it up a bit because it is conflicting with these buttons. And that's better. Actually, one more thing I have to do. 0.05 for the size. And done. Now it looks perfect. Okay. Hide this. Actually, call this squad title change. So we know that it can change the title. And we actually have to not clear text on focus. And text should be editable. You should show an input. And yeah, that's it. So now we got to hide this again. You have to hide it so that the other thing can show up first. Alright. This shows up. Okay, and now what we do next is this. We'll do G dot squad portal mode changed equals signal dot new. That way you can change it. Anyways, I don't have time for that. Okay, so now we'll do this. Mode changed, connect. Function, mode. If mode equals, let's just say, manage, of course. Then, I might take a break in 2 minutes, so I'm going to speed this up a bit. Then we'll do is UI.squad title.visible equals false. UI.squad title changed .visible equals true. And here's what we'll do. UI dot squad menu dot manage squad dot activated connect function I. Okay. G dot squad portal changed. Portal mode changed. Fire. Manage. Okay, now let's see if this works. If it does work, we should be able to edit the text of the text box for the title. That's important, because that is exactly how we are going to work this out regarding certain things. So just keep that in mind. Alright. So now I'm going to do that. Manage squad. It should say untitled, but we'll fix that. Okay. Alright, so now all I have to do here is fix this portion, and then I'm taking a break in like a few seconds. So, let's see. UI.squad title change dot text equals, let's just say squad dot name. It has to be the name in its fullest form and not uppercase, because if it's uppercase, then it's not the same. Just saying. Anyways, this is what we got, and now this is what we're gonna have. So, okay, untitled, manage squad, and as you can see, it shows the words untitled. So I'm just going to call this untitled squad. Nothing happens. Right? And you just click this again. Well, yeah. There should be a variable there. So we'll get to that. But right now I am choosing to take a break. All right, and I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Just had to get a few things done. And now, this is what we're going to do next. First thing I'm going to do is fix this. So, let's see. Local, actually go up, 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 up. Local manage enabled equals false. Okay, and then manage enabled equals not manage enabled. Yep. Now there has to be an owner here. If you're not the owner of the squad, you will not be able to use this button. Simple. Okay. And manage or idle. Now, yeah, there is an idle mode. And I'm about to show you that. Else if mode equals idle, then you could do this with functions, but right now I'm going to just set this up so that we know exactly what we're dealing with the next time we stream. Because right now, according to my findings, we almost have 20 minutes left in the stream. So we got idle, we got manage, perfect. Now all we have to do is simply put it together. So what do I mean when I say put it together? This is what I mean. Okay. Now, when we say put it together, we mean something like, okay, manage squad. You can change it to untitled squad or whatever you want to call it. And then you go back to it. Yeah, but there's one huge problem. This doesn't update the name of the squad. So we're going to fix that. However, be careful. Okay? Gafar, whatever you call it. Because there's one thing that is really dangerous about this. If you're not careful or choose not to do this at all, you could get your game moderated. We take this very seriously here. We do not take chances that could get us banned that aren't worth it. Here at TPL or CrossForce, anything. It's just a policy we have. We don't want to cause drama. We don't want to start anything. We don't want to do any of that. So this is what happens. If I can read this right, hold on, let me find the documents for this. I'm going to read this just as it is, and then we're going to get straight into it. Because this is serious. And no one wants those surprise bans. I've seen worse recently. So, let me just read this article. One of the most important ways to keep games safe and secure is to apply proper text filtering. That is what I'm referring to. I know you guys don't want that in your squads, but it's important to keep the bad apples out of the picture. Roblox has a text filter feature that not only prevents users from seeing profane and inappropriate messages, but also blocks personally identifiable information. Right. Because it's so crucial, like I said before, Roblox actively moderates the content of games to make sure they meet certain standards. If a game is reported or automatically detected to not use filtering, the game will be shut down until the developer takes the proper steps to apply filtering. That is important. I am not lying. Okay? This is serious. So, with that being said, this is what I'm going to do. Alright? If you're going to change the name of the squad, all this stuff regarding squad updates will happen with two things being the case. One, it happens automatically. It saves automatically when you update whatever properties in here. Whether it be faction, name, base, anything. It updates. Alright? The second thing is that there will be built filtering logic in this module. So keep that in mind. So let's get started on that. So I'm going to do function squad manager change squad name. Okay? And then you have to put in the name. Okay. Oh, and the squad server is crucial because here's the deal. Without the squad server, you can't do much. And in fact, I have an idea. Instead of making this a local variable, we're going to make this a global so that we can actually use it. There we go. We just make that a global. I know it sounds ridiculous to make things global, but it's important in this case to keep everything organized in terms of how it would be globally used. Because remember, we have to grab it. You cannot use the squad server. Too much. Well, actually, you have to still provide that. So, let's see. Local data equals g.squads player. In fact, we have to also provide the player. There's 3 arguments. If data, then. So return false. This will be using fetch remotes listeners or fetch listeners so that they can be able to return something. Because when you use a fetch listener, that means you are, using a remote function to do the job. And specifically one remote function. So let's see. Local text res equals name. Okay. Text res dot name. Actually, let's do this differently. We're going to need text service. So let's load that up. Local text service equals game get service text service. Okay. Text res equals text service filter string async. And what this will do is this will filter out any bad words or anything else that would be used here. I know I've cursed before on stream, but hey, it just happens, you know? It would be ironic for me to do this, but back, it's for the greater good. So, text and from player ID. So, here's what we're going to do. Text res goes in first, and then the player's user ID goes in last. So now we got that. If text res, okay, if not text res match, we're actually fine. And this is what we have to find. If there's more than two, and I mean two hashtags, we're giving them a grace of one hashtag. Meaning, we're going to allow anything that has one hashtag in. But if there's two consecutive hashtags, guess what? It doesn't go through. Simple, because we know that is been filtered. Okay, and we'll do G squads player equals actually dot name equals, let's just say text res. Yeah. And this is what we do next. I'm serious. We have to do this. We take this and we'll actually, you know what? No. Return false is there if we don't have that. So now what we have to do is update this. So we'll do save. Actually, I think I know where to go with this. So grab the squad store. Yep, we got 20 minutes left. Okay. Okay, squad store. Update async. And then we'll do, let's see, what's the key for it? Okay, squad ID. G.squads player.id. And I think we should do this instead. ID will be in here as well. Squads. Okay, HTTP service needs to be added in. Local HTTP service equals game service HTTP service. Alright, and then we'll do generate GUID false sub 1 5. What does this do? Well, whenever you have an ID here, we never use the full GUID. We use only 5 characters of it, the first 5. Because think about it, you want this to work, right? And you want this to be easy to remember, because it's going to be very important later. So we'll take that, and then we'll do function. Let's see. And then we'll do pcall here. Do a pcall function. Almost forgot that. So let's see, old SD. Alright, and then we'll do return g.squads player. And that's it. Okay, and then we'll return the squads. Okay, so now what we have to do next is simple. We just add in another fetch request. Very simple. This time we're going to do change name. And then we have to provide the name. And actually, you know what? I'm going to put this in here. Just in case. Yeah. So now we're going to do return. Okay, SM. And then we'll do squad manager, change squad name. Basically that. And then we'll do player name. Let's just say squad 1 for this. Alright. And yeah, that's better. So now all we have to do, okay, is UI squad title change, focus lost, connect function, squad data equals remote service. Forgot to add remote service, so I'm going to add it in. Okay. So let's see. Squad data is there, and then we'll have to do fetch, actually, not send. Because fetch is for events, send is for remote functions. Send is for events that only happen on one client, but bounce is for things that happen on multiple. Very useful, if you ask me, to keep everything separate. So now, okay, now what we have to do is, let's just say squad data. Actually, no, wait. Server change squad name. And then we'll do UI squad title change text. Simple, right? And it's actually supposed to be change squad name, not change name. That way it's more specific in case we have to change the name of the character or player. Because anything could be a changed name. But you have to make sure it's specific. So let's see. If squad data, then squad title. Okay, UI squad title dot text. Actually, G squad update. Almost got 10 minutes left. Fire squad data. Alright, where are we? Okay. 45. So, yeah. Anyways, let's just check this and see how it works. So, what I'm seeing is that we have a working title part for the squad system. So I'm going to call this entitled squad. Oh, wait, what? Sheesh, what happened here? Oh, okay. Now I remember. Ah, yeah. So what we forgot to do was we forgot to get the chat. Or what you would say, get non-chat string. So let's do that. Text res equals text res get chat. Actually, you know what? Let's just get that function, copy it. Okay, and do name. Because here's the problem. Name, this is an object. This is a text filter result. So, yeah. And then we have to get the broadcast. So, simple. Now, guess what? I think it should work. Let's try it. There is literally, if I can remember straight, almost a few minutes left in the stream. So what I'm going to do is actually make this work. Like, seriously. We're going to see if this works. If it does, you should be able to see a lot more. So let's see. Manage squad. I'm going to call this Untitled Squad. All right, it works. Perfect. Just in time, too, for the last few minutes that we have. Okay, so let's see. We can leave the squad, but I'm actually going to go over some things before we close out for today's stream. So, the squad system has new squad, join squad, manage, and leave. You can manage it and change its name. But, here's the deal. If you want... Oh, actually, we're not going to go into this until tomorrow. I just remembered. This is something totally different. But, uniforms will be next. We're going to make at least 2 of these buttons work tomorrow. And I might do a longer stream just to see where we go. So let's see. Loadouts, faction, base, allies, enemies. Allies is different We will need to test that on a server. Yes, we will have to do that. So just keep that in mind. Anyways, this is gonna probably be it in about 8 minutes. So let's just see that again, just for fun. Yeah, I'd like to do that for fun. Just to see how it works. So I'm gonna just maybe manage squad. And yes, you are going to see something different. I'll just call it that. Huh, interesting. It didn't even work in the filter, but it's okay. It is filtered though. I was just checking that out. So let's call this Polish squad and see what happens. That works. Okay. And let's try another one. Oops. I meant Nougat Squad. Yeah. Oh, there we go. I was looking for that. Okay. 8F1A8. Huh. Interesting. Let's see. I'm going to connect to squads. Eight F1AA. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. We have to close it out. Let's just see if that actually saved, just to be curious. If it did, you know what happens. 8F1AA. No data. Then what was that? Squad save is what it was. I forgot. It was squad save. My bad. 8F1AA. And that has no data. Yeah, that's good. Alright. So now, we did that. Now, the next thing is going to be ending this. So, what did we do today? Well, I'm about to explain. What we did today was pretty good. Let's say we mastered it, rather. We managed to get the squad UI working the way it should. Like, just getting this part up and then maybe adding a few things here. But mainly we made this dynamic. Where if you change the name, watch this. Hold on. Let me just load it up. And then once it's loaded up, we can see what I'm referring to. So what we do is, we can also do this. And that's the great part about this. It works. So now, with that being said, we are going to have to end it here. We are literally almost 6 minutes in. I'm going to end it early. It's supposed to be a 2-hour stream, but maybe 1 hour and 55 minutes is not that bad. So, yeah. Anyways, guys, my name is Erados12. Today's been great, and I'll see you guys later. Cheers.